All right, we're going to start our next installment of ensemble building with a game called 3-Word Chant. And in this game, you're going to get your students into a circle, and they are to develop different chants, one word at a time. So person A will start and come up with a word. So say they come up with the word love. Person B will add on, and then person C will add on to that. And that is your 3-word chant. Once they come up with that phrase, the whole class chants it 3 times. So here I've given you the example. If person A says love, person B says is, and then person C says nice, then the whole class together 3 times will chant, love is nice, love is nice, love is nice. This is a great way to warm up vocally, encouraging listening and responding, and giving energy to your cast. Another thing I've done with this activity as well is shared it with some of my colleagues, especially those in the English department. And some of them have used it as a warm-up game for a review of a book they may be reading. So for instance, if they were reading The Great Gatsby, and a chant could be, Gatsby hates Tom, and then they chant 3 times Gatsby hates Tom. It's a good way to get some vocabulary going with students. So that might be a good way you can use something as cross-curricular. So I'm going to show you what 3-word chant might look like in your classroom.
She caught squirrel.
She caught squirrel. She caught squirrel. She caught squirrel.
Maya is hot.
Maya is hot. Maya is hot. Maya is hot.
Cats
Like
dogs.
Cats like dogs. Cats like dogs. Cats like dogs.
Cows drink water.
Cows drink water. Cows drink water. Cows drink water.
Mom is
angry.
Mom is angry. Mom is angry. Mom is angry.
why
Is I.
Why is I? Why is I? Why is I?
Carol. She's
Alive.
Carol, she's alive. Carol, she's alive. Carol, she's alive.
So that's just a fun, energizing way for you to start class. All right, moving on to our next activity. So this is a game in which students can create really interesting shapes, really interesting stage pictures. I use this with all of my classes right before I start a blocking unit or a stage picture unit. And it's very similar to a Bogart's Viewpoints activity that I did in college. It's not as advanced, obviously, so I do use it for teaching them the basics of topography. So what you want to do is you want to choose 4 to 5 random props and set them behind the students, and you want to pick 4 to 5 students. The props should match the number of students that you choose to do. If you want to do a group of 4 or a group of 5, the more people you add on the stage, obviously, the harder it gets. So you're going to give them 5 different props and 10 seconds to plan. Okay, so they're going to have 10 seconds to come up with an interesting tableau that you might see at a location that you give them. So they create the picture, right? And then they hold the tableau until you give them their next location. And then they scramble for that 10 seconds to come up with a second tableau. Same thing. So you're going to repeat this 3 different times with each group of 4 or 5. They're using the same props, but they cannot use the same props more than once. So for instance, if one student is using the cane in a picture, they can't use the cane in the second tableau. They must switch with somebody else. The other thing with the props is it does not have to be what it actually is. So for instance, if it is a cane, it can be used as a pool stick. If your location was, say, a game room, they could use it as a pool stick. It needs to make some sort of sense, but they can use it as another object just to get them really thinking and being creative and more using their bodies and their facial expression. So I've given you a few examples of different locations that you could use for this activity. So here's just a few pictures of my students doing the activity. I think the first picture is they are in a grocery store. And the second picture, they are in a cathedral. So as we pause, we critique these and say, do these make interesting shapes? And then sometimes if they're all what we call talking heads and they're standing, upright, I have other students, adjust them and see what they can do to make the picture more interesting and visually appealing to their audience. So I have put a few resources on here of different books that I enjoy and that I get some of my games and activities from. Theater Games for Rehearsals, a Director's Handbook by Viola Spolin, Classroom Games for the Theater Games for the Classroom, also by Viola Spolin, and Theater Games, A New Approach to Drama Training. That is a newer book. 135 theater games, warm-up exercises for actors, and then that game as well as the next game, Improv Ideas, A Book of Games and Lists. They both come with a DVD as well. So if you are doing like a location game and you don't want to yell it out, or you want to get different ideas, it comes with a DVD of different things that you can print out for your students, of different handouts. So I hope you have enjoyed this first installment of Ensemble Building, and please stay tuned. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at stoffel@fultonschools.org or visit us in the community page of the Georgia Department of Education. And you are more than welcome to message me on our chat board.